It's my time, tick, tick. Spit shit sick, take pics, flick, flick. Dismiss nitwits, letting loose lip slip. Rip kids quick with the elbow bip. Hop on the spaceship, we gon' make that trip. Drop hopelessness at the next exit. Meditate this so smooth and slick. Elevate, lift, hit the stars and drift. Let your mind unzip. Feed off bits like you missed breakfast. Tell a friend, calls in the text.
Let's see. Junior year, high school, second semester. I think it was February. My boy Justin, a.k.a. Versatile from Tree City, told me about this place called the Neutral Zone. He was going to go up there and take these breakdancing classes. And I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. I didn't really care. I was like, that sounds like fun. So he went, came back the next day, and told me that it was really fun, and that I should check it out sometime. He said they're gonna have free pizza on Friday. So I was like, free pizza? So I was down to eat some pizza after school. So we went up there that Friday and came up there. I was also up there with a guy by the name of Jacoby Simmons, who ended up being DJ Cataclysmic in Tree City. This is all before this stuff even happened, man. But I had met Jacoby through a gym class a semester earlier, so that's how I knew who Jacoby was. And so he was up there, but he was in a DJing class / breakdancing classes. And so we went up there and had some pizza, met some people up there, and I was just really impressed with the atmosphere. So I started to come back like the previous weeks. And I came back on one of the DJ days, which I think was Wednesday at that time. And Jacoby was spinning records, and Justin was, scratching some stuff because Justin was a DJ at that time. And I was just kind of standing there, and I was like, man, they're playing all these dope beats on wax, and never really been around DJs before like that. So I was like, I really wanted to rap, but I couldn't rap for anything. So I was just like mumbling random yos and stuff in the background, and I was like, I really want to rap. So like later on that night, me, Justin, and Jacoby were sitting at the table, and I was like, man, we should start a rap group. And they were like, Mike, do you even rap? And I was like, no, but I'm going to start. So we should start this group. And me and Justin going to be the rappers, and Jacoby's going to be the DJ. They're like, yeah, I'm down. So like 16, he didn't care. I'm like, yeah, so, they were down, and for the next week, me and Jacoby, for the next couple weeks, me and Jacoby would go to the studio and bang out these little keyboard beats on the Korg Triton that was in the lab. We had these little keyboard ditties, like these little standard drums and stuff. It was all kind of stale, but we were feeling them because every time I made a beat, it was just the hottest thing. Every time I made a different beat, it was fire. And it was all just standard keyboard sounds. And so. And Justin was just being in the corner, just looking at us like we were crazy. He would never put any input in. We wouldn't encourage. We were just having fun. So one day, Justin hits me up on the phone like, Mike, I made this beat on Free Loops, where I sampled Super Mario Brothers. And I was like, okay, that's what's up. I was like, I didn't know he made beats like that. So he played it over the phone, and it sounded really dope. I was kind of confused. I was like, okay, it sounds good, but he didn't help us on the Korg Triton, so he can't make beats on Free Loops without helping us on the Triton. So I was like, I didn't think much of it. So he was like, okay. And he brought me in a CD a couple days later, and I was like, dog, where you been, man? And he had 20 beats on the CD, and every one of them were just fire. And I was like, man, it just lit a fuse. And so I went home and started writing to him and everything, because we were because before we had officially started working on beats and stuff, we had went home the day we figured out we were going to be in a rap group together. We had went home and figured out some raps, and a few days later when we shot them on the bus, we were like, okay, this could really be something serious, because we were all just sitting on the after school bus on the way to the zone, went over some lyrics, and there was typical all whack MCs, I'm gonna make you want to slap them lyrically, and everything was lyrically, shoot them lyrically, slap them lyrically, I'm the best lyrically, everything was lyrically this, and cuss words, this, MF, B word, it was beautiful. But anyways, so we get going on this first CD, And the guy I used to run the studio by the name of Nick, he recorded our stuff. And Jackson Perry, from now on, he fronted for the studio time because he was an old music coordinator at Neutral Zone. So he fronted for the studio time, and we recorded some stuff at the studio there. And started laying out some tracks and started playing them back, and we were like, we were really feeling them. And then around June '05, we released our first CD under the name T5E, which stood for The Fifth Element, not THE, THA. I guess, me and Justin would debate about THE, and he thought it sounded lame, so we were just THA. And I thought of T5E because I didn't like saying the. So it was T5E, which stood for The Fifth Element. And then we dropped our first CD called First Strike. It had 11 bangers on it. If you need a copy, holla at me. I won't give you one though, but just kidding. Yeah, you can get one. 11 tracks, and me and Justin would skip school actually, and go up to Copy Max from here on to Arblam, and hit up Copy Max, and just print off copies of the cover. We'd buy a bunch of blank CDs, and Justin would take a marker and he would draw a little T5E logo on each CD. We would skip lunch and skip fifth hour and just be in some random room, just drawing logos and putting them together. And then we go out and try to sell CDs at lunch. And it was pretty well received. We sold a few copies, and every week the covers would be different because we'd have less money or we'd have more money. So we'd have some where we'd have jewel cases, other ones would have slim jewel cases. Some would even have covers on it, some would. But it would, and then over the summer, we started talking to the Youth on Records people, which is the record label at Neutral Zone. We started talking to them about forming a little hip-hop sub-label called Raw Generation, which is T5E and another MC by the name of Young E, a.k.a. Dominique. And we started doing that. And then, so we got on Youth Owned in the fall. And then after that, we started working on our second CD, which we were going to call The Instructions, because we were just all on some we're going to show cats how to make a real rap CD, so we're going to call it The Instructions. And it was all me mother on the cover, brick lettering with the names and stuff. And this was released on Youth Owned / Raw Generation. And so we dropped that. We had a little release party, and then people started to buy the CDs, and we was really starting to feel it. And we, during the making of the second CD, I had met a dude named Evan. I actually originally had met him the same year. I actually originally met him 11th grade when I first started coming to the zone. He was in my health class, and he was he had the bowl cut, and he had this round glasses, and he used to wear this Russian army coat. Oh snap! He used to wear this Russian army coat. And he'd be like, "What's up, man?" And one day me and Justin were talking about Wu-Tang Clan, and he turns around "Was that some Ghostface Killer?" And we were like, "Yeah, what you know about Ghostface?" He's like, "Yeah, that's my favorite CD." So we were like, "Okay, you know something?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm working on writing some raps." We're like, "Oh, whatever," because he was talking about how he's rapping. He kind of blew it off. And then one day in health class, we heard this someone talking really fast in the corner around this group of people. We looked over and it was Evan, someone just ripping. And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Dawg, you should be in our group T5E." And he was like, "No, man, I'm trying to do my solo thing." We're like, "Oh, okay," so that was real. And but we kept in contact, and then our senior year, 06, 05, 06, our senior year, we started to freestyle during lunch, and this empty stairway. We would just freestyle. Me, Justin, and Evan would freestyle during lunch. Well, and then after school, me and Justin and Jacoby would go and record stuff for our CD, The Instructions. So that's how we hooked up with Evan. And then also, I had known Kyle, also known as GP. I had known him since I was in 5th grade. And we became friends in 7th grade. And when I told him I started rapping, he actually laughed. So I was like, I'm about to start this rap group. He was like, shh, okay, Mike, whatever. And I was like, well, okay, you can laugh now. And then after hearing some of the tracks, he was trying to be in the group. And I told him, no, man, we're going to keep the group to 3 people. But he did get on the track. He didn't have originally I thought Kyle's name should be Sirius Black, like the bad guy from Harry Potter. But which is the dopest name ever, by the way. But he was not trying to have it for nothing. So for a while, Kyle didn't even have a name. But I would always call him Sirius Black, and he'd get mad, and he'd call me Minnesota Fats, whatever that means. And then, so we would go back and forth. So I'd call him Sirius, he'd call me Minnesota. But, so that was that. But we didn't let him be in T5E, but he did get on one song, this song called Spells. And so me and so I hollered at Justin and Jacoby about starting a bigger part of T5E called Tree City after we had released the second T5E CD, which we released January 13th, 2006. I remember it because it was a Friday the 13th. We did a release show, like 20 cats came, 5 of them bought the CD, and we were on our way to stardom at this point. And we had some hits on this album. A lot of the album was skits though, that's the funny part. A lot of the CD was like just random skits. We were like trying to make like a classic album. It came out pretty nicely though. We recorded it through Youthone, and then at that point we introduced Tree City because I had a concept for a bigger group that would include Dominique, Evan, and Kyle, and we would go by Tree City. And at that release party for the T5E CD, we would we like freestyle and stuff, under the name Tree City. And then we started working on some Tree City songs after we had dropped the instructions. So we kind of almost just completely like moved instructions to the side and worked on Tree City stuff. And we recorded this one song called High Noon under the name Tree City. And the song didn't really go anywhere. Kind of got scrapped because it was pretty whack. But anyways, and then we did this song called Revolution, which was me, Justin, and Evan. And we debuted it at Breaking Curfew 06 when T5E performed. And we debuted it, and then after we did that song, man, in front of that big Breaking Curfew crowd, which is held at the Power Center, it was sold out. They were all in front of the stage, screaming. And after we did that, we were like, okay, now we're really going to do some Tree City stuff. But also at that time, Dominique had joined the Army, so it was just me, Justin, Jacoby, Evan, and Kyle. And we had started working on an EP. We were going to call it the Tree P, which was Kyle's idea, which meant like tree with EP at the end. But unfortunately, everybody calls it the Trey EP or the Treep. But, price we pay. But so we started working on that with Elliot Bansell, who was the former Nutrizone studio manager, and we started working with it at his home studio, and we started laying down tracks, and all the beats are pretty much by Justin. I had one, and Kyle had one also, and we came up with 7 tracks. Originally we were going to make an album, but we only came out with 7 tracks because it took us so long to do those 7. So we dropped that one in June of 07. And that one was actually, we actually had a release party for that here at the Zone. The Zone had moved to a new building at that point. And we had it at the new building, and the response for that was really good because we had gotten a little buzz through, we had some good songs and stuff, so we had a little buzz at this point. And so we sold like 80 copies of the Tree P on the release, and we only had 100. So we sold like 80, maybe even 90 copies of the Tree P on the opening night. And then over the next year, we kept doing a lot of shows with the Blind Pig. We went to this hip hop festival in Traverse City. We started going out to places like Jackson and Kalamazoo, promoting ourselves. And we started to get like a little buzz. We made it on the cover of a local newspaper called The Record. We got a little article in a 4-track section of the Detroit Weekly. And we started, getting a little name out there. And, now we're kind of where we are here. I would describe it as, I would say it's energetic. It's a real focused scene because, with the Detroit scene being so well known for cats like Jay Dilla and like Slum Village and Eminem, Ann Arbor is also full of like a lot of musical talent, and we have like our own kind of sound to it. We have because we had groups like AML and 911 and Funktail who brought their real like energetic, interactive kind of style, and Tree City kind of added to that. So I would say that the Ann Arbor scene is real energetic and real like. It's also real like lyrical, and it's like not another thing about Ann Arbor is like we study a lot of we kind of like study music because that's how so many dope albums have come out of this area because we like spend a lot of time just like listening to different cats and like applying that kind of style to how we interact. So a lot of times you'll hear somebody compare a certain artist to another group. That's because we've studied that group, but we're not really jocking them. We're just we're influenced by them. So that's how I would describe the sound. Word. Pretty much, life of a MC, man. It's up and down because there'll be sometimes we'll do shows in front of like a couple hundred people and sell a bunch of merch afterwards and sign autographs for the CD like we did at the release party, or people want to take pictures of us with like their little brother and stuff, and they're like, take a picture of our brother, hold him up in the air, and like we'll be stars, and then like the next week we'll do a show in front of like 2 people. So it's really like it's whatever, but it really depends on how you promote yourself and how you really get out there to the fans or to the people. And we've had our hits and we've had our misses. Like we'll have like a Kalamazoo band, for instance, found us on MySpace, and we came out there and built like a small fan base out of Kalamazoo, and like a lot of cats feel our stuff. So the fans are out there. We just gotta go out there and get them somehow. But it's pretty up and down. Like sometimes you'll have a big show, sometimes you'll have like the smallest show ever. Well, I started getting into beats around 06 when we started making the second T5E album because I just really wanted to do it, and I saw the MPC 2000 XL that they had in the studio, which is this exact same one, and I really wanted to use that one because it looked cool, and I knew that like DJ Premier used it. At that point I was all about Primo, so I was trying to be like, I was trying to be able to chop up samples and like have like some fat drums to go with it. And so Nick Ayers, also, who was the DJ teacher at that time, also the beat making teacher, taught me how to use the MPC. And I kind of approached it like I just took some records from like my grandma's basement and like my mom's old record collection. I just took them off. I would find the loop and just record the loop like a 2-bar, 4-bar loop. And then at that time I was also finding drum loops to go with it because I couldn't like record individual drum hits myself. I either find a loop or have Jacoby come and do it because he could do all 3 paths at the same time. So I would just ask him to do it, or I would just find a loop and just make a beat out of a loop. And then as time went on, I started listening to different producers. I started getting into like chopping samples, and I got into that. And then I got into doing the kick, snare, and hi-hat on separate tracks so I could bring them in at different times. So I would say my style is real like it has a soulful appeal. I sample like rock records. I sample old soundtracks. Sometimes I sample a lot of old funk records. Some stuff has already been heard because I'm not the deepest digger because a lot of it is like hand me downs from like my parents or my grandparents. But I got some gems that no one's really that cats can't recognize off the jump. But I would say it's real like. I would say my style of beats are pretty gritty because they're pretty much just straight up chopped from the record and find some drums on the record and just put them together. It's kind of It can get kind of boom bappy, but lately I've been like chopping and more like offbeat rhythms kind of stuff. Boom bap is real like mid '90s kind of stuff where pretty much the drum pattern is just boom bap. So a lot of times it'll be like boom bap, boom bap, and that's pretty much the drum pattern. And a lot of cats like DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Large Professor, like they'll like the stuff is real. Like the drums are real like fat. They're just like it's pretty much just like a straightforward drum pattern. They like chop up a sample and just really just like freak out around that drum beat. And that's the kind of yeah, it was real popular in like the '90s, like early '90s. And that's what influenced me at the time. Was at the time we were all like 90, like 92, 95, like that real hip hop stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like everything else was just like evil. We were all like, yeah, we're gonna bring back that, you know, DJ Premier, that Gangsta, that KRS One stuff, that Rakim stuff. It was all like, yeah, we're gonna bring back that Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Clan was like the blueprint for T5E, even though it was just 3 cats. I was like, you gonna walk around and like rap in the dark with parkas on and scullies over our face and swing our arms and like kick over stuff. I don't know. We were all some like 95 was like the best year ever kind of stuff. I like I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. I like Lil Brother a lot, Wu-Tang Clan, Common. I don't know. I'm always weird with this question because I always like draw a blank because they're all in my head. Every time I ask a question, I go to like the same like 5 cats. Man, right now like it's I'm on like a strictly like Michigan hip hop is like the ruler of all things like mode. So I've listened to a lot of cats like Now One, Buff One, One Below, Fat Cat, Black Milk, Guilty Simpson, Elzai, Nick Speed, Danny Brown, whole Subterraneous crew. Like I've listened to like a lot of Michigan stuff because I feel like Michigan hip hop is probably some of the sickest stuff out now. You know, because with Jay Dilla and that and he kind of like crafted like a whole sound, like a whole like reputation for like, you know, Michigan hip hop, and then you add Ann Arbor into it, like with like Buff One, AML, and like Now On, and you know, so Ann Arbor has like a little hole now, like a little place in it. And 14 KT just dropped the album, so like, you know, he's added to that pile, and like that's what's influenced me personally, because a lot of those cats, like Now On, Jackson from Now On paid for the studio time for our first album, so I know him personally, and like I got a chance to work with Buff One and recording his new album. And I've gotten to know some of the cats from AML. And like One Below used to have like, I used to like talk One Below all the time, one-on-one when you would come to the zone a lot back in the day. So like a lot of these cats I know personally, and they would personally give me insight on what I would need to do to like, you know, succeed in the game. And that means a lot to me because, you know, at that point I started rapping for like 6 months or a couple years, and they would all just give me information just for like 30 minutes, just give me stuff I need to know to really, you know, take over the game. And I feel that's what helped me the most. So Michigan hip hop artists are probably my biggest influence right now. It's definitely a vessel for a lot of teens who are looking to get involved with it but don't really know how. Like with myself, I didn't know I wanted to rap. I think Neutral Zone is probably the reason why I rap today. Because before then I wasn't really doing much. I would just go to school and go home, and I wouldn't even do my homework. I would just watch TV or something. But like, when I started coming to the zone, I started to experience hip hop, you know, in different forms through the DJ classes and interacting with different cats, and I really just realized, you know, there's a whole other world out there. And so, you know, through the zone, I was able to really, you know, find my true voice and really get into it. So I feel it's a big influence on me and on a lot of other teen MCs who want to like find out, because they have a venue to perform in, so they can have concerts here, they can have release parties, they can record their music here, they can print CD art. So it's like, it's pretty much the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Currently, I'm working on, shutting the game down. Just kidding. Currently, Tree City's working on a mixtape. Well, mixtape for lack of a better word, but I don't really like the name mixtape. But it's pretty much a mixtape. It's called Black Trees, and it's made out of. We found these beats that Black Milk, who we're all a really big fan of, at least me personally, I am. He had posted a free beat CD in promotion for his new album, Tronic, and we had found them online because he had posted a link to them. And we downloaded them. Kyle GP had thought about recording over all of them, so we started working on them, and we came up with really good song formulas, and it was a really good way to bond at that time because we hadn't worked on any album songs in a few months. So we had to get back in the groove of things. And so that's what this project is about. So that's the newest Tree City project coming up. It's called Black Trees. It's going to be a free download. It's not trying to get sued, so it's going to be all for free. So hopefully people enjoy it. Hopefully Black Milk hears it. I'm also working on a project with this guy named Cheeks, who is pretty much a new member of the group now. We've been friends with him for like a year. We met him. We met him through a friend of ours named Joel, and then he was in this crew called Breathe Easy, and we listened to some of their stuff. And when we went up to Traverse City last year for the Beats by the Bay Festival, we took him with us, and we got a chance to really bond and get cool with one another. And over this last 4 months, he's really started working on more material with the group. Like he's on the Black Trees mixtape, and he's gonna be. And me and him are making an album called Common Ground, and we're about halfway through with that. So we got about 4 more tracks to record for that album, and then I'll be done. I'm also working on a solo project called Pintelligent. I got about 6 to 8 tracks either written or recorded. That's gonna be due out. I have no idea. Hopefully by the end of this year, I'll just release it, just so I don't have to get those songs to be outdated. I'm also working on some futuristic takeover, super fresh, mind-splitting, hot crack fire-ish with my man Carlos, a.k.a. the cameraman, a.k.a. Mohawk Kid, a.k.a. Sickest Dancer. Holla at me if you think otherwise. But we're working on something called Celsius Electronics. It's currently making a lot of noise, out there in the internet, kinda. But we got 3 tracks recorded, 4 tracks recorded, and working on making an album that will probably save lives. Just being honest. So look up for Celsius Electronics. It's a great name. Shout out to Jacoby for the name. Thank you. So that's that. Those are Celsius. Yeah. Electronics. I just did that. Anyways, so that's I try to keep myself busy and try to do as many projects as possible, because if I throw a lot of stuff out there, one of them will bite. So I just try to stay busy with different material. Well, I'm just trying to make good music and get it out to fans and build a fan base and really be able to live off of my music. I'm not trying. If I end up being the richest cat ever through music, that's great. That's not my that's not why I'm doing it. But I don't really want to be like a rapper by night and regular cat by day. I'm trying to spend all my day dedicated to making music for people or for myself for whatever reason, and be able to have some kind of success off it. I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be the biggest person, but a little offended hurt anybody. But I'm pretty much just trying to make good music and put it out there for the people to really enjoy and hopefully inspire other people the way music has inspired me. So if someone hears, a Man in Charge album or whatever, they'll be like, that's what I want to do. I want to be like that guy, and I want to, and hopefully my music could inspire somebody else to, want to do music also.
I don't wanna be king, just wanna reign supreme in this hip hop thing on the west folded green, so we're back on the scene. Yeah, I'm back on the scene. Yo, I don't wanna be king, just wanna reign supreme in this hip hop thing on the west folded green, so we're back on the scene. Yeah, I'm back on the scene. Yo, back on the scene. Since a young teen, been a microphone fiend with a dream of crossing that mainstream. But the underground sound found in Tree Town was much more profound. I had to get down on South Main, maintain the spit flame with a sick name, bring change to this.